Okay, so then the next season, that's when you really kind of hit your stride.
Mm-hmm.
You and Larry Hughes.
Yeah.
You were the highest scoring backcourt duo in the NBA.
Yeah.
You guys were killing it. You had a 45-win season, and you got to the first playoffs that the Wizards got to since 1997. How did that feel at that point?
That felt great because Larry Hughes was my mentor in Golden State. So I was, I carried his bag, did all, rookie stuff.
You have to really do that?
Yeah,
that's a real thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I ended up taking his position. Those 30 games I played, that was his spot. He got hurt. They put me in, and they never gave him back the spot. So he had to take a pay cut, sign some bullshit deal to go to Washington. So I was hesitant to going to Washington in the first place. But he told me, come down, come here, because we played well together when we did play. So, hooking back up with him, and then Antoine coming, then there's like 3 Golden State guys. And then from there, we just, made magic.
Yeah, because you actually won the playoff series. And that was the first time the Wizards won in more than 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got selected for the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
How did that feel?
That was so, like, I'm not even gonna lie, that was so amazing because it really shouldn't have been my All-Star. It should have been Larry's. So, Larry and Antoine were playing like All-Stars. I was the third wheel, and what happened was Larry broke his thumb. And when Larry broke his thumb, I took on his scoring, and I just shot up. Mm-hmm. So I end up, winning that All-Star bid, me and what's the name? So I said, yo, this is technically yours. You got to come. So Larry ended up showing up for me, rocking, the 0. But it was more, I don't even think I scored in the All-Star game. I was just so happy to be there. I was just so happy. I was so happy to be there. Like, it's like I'm an All-Star. I invited everybody I knew, friends, family, high school friends, girlfriends that wouldn't give me none back then. Like, yeah, come on to the All-Star. So it was just one of those things like how it was supposed to feel when I made it to the NBA. Yeah. How I made it to the All-Star, that was just, one of those. I didn't even care, to be honest, I didn't even care about the game. Watching Beyonce and Jay-Z front row. I'm just sitting there. Coach called my name 4 times before I went. I'm like, just Jay-Z, Beyonce. She's so beautiful in real life. That is really home. And he just calling me and like, what? Get in. Yeah, I forgot, my bad.
Well, but at this point, you're making $10 million a year. Mm-hmm. So how does it feel? Like, what are you spending money on? Like, are you balling out of control, or did you learn your lesson the first time around with blowing all your money?
No, when you're a kid, you're buying stuff that is meaningless to the world, but for some reason it means a lot to you. Yeah. So I was like, I want a Shark Tank. I want a Shark Tank. I want some sharks. So Shark Tank. I wanted a Hugh Hefner pool.
Okay.
So I wanted that. I remember I bought a chain. Like when I first got my money, my first year, had this big old bracelet. Right? I wore it to a club one time. Didn't like the feeling. Because, I didn't have bodyguards then. I just didn't like the eyes. And I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna, this jury thing is just not for me. Yeah. So I took it off and just put it in a box and never wore it again. Huh. So I wasn't a jury guy. I wasn't a partier. Shoes, what the hell, furniture, taxes.
Yeah, taxes. That's the big one right there.
It's just furniture, taxes. Yeah,
That 10 million turns to 5 real quick.
Yeah.
Plus you're talking about, your manager and your agent and everything else.
Yeah, they're taking their fees. But at that time, just happy to play basketball because, basketball, money is one thing, but, being great at something, that builds. That's the investment.
Yeah. And that was the year in 2005. That's when you started being called Agent Zero. Mm-hmm. And you had a strong year. You had like almost 30 points a game. But you weren't, initially you weren't chosen for the 2006 All-Star game. But I guess there was, Jermaine O'Neal got injured and then you got into it again. So 2 years in a row, you're in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
How did that feel the second year?
That was horrible because that's when politics kicked in. That's when who was that fucking Larry Brown and that Detroit team they were winning games and they were, using that winning for all-stars, just about team and winning. So we need 4 all-stars in the game, maybe 5. And I'm like, well, what the fuck does that got to do with me? My team is 5th in the East, and I'm 4th leading scorer in the NBA. So you guys are going to go 1, 2, 3, skip 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 2 players on an all-star team right now, their team is 13th and 15th. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, this doesn't even you can't even make this up. This doesn't even make sense. So it was more anger. There's more anger, and that's when shit talking became part of my game. Because I realized that because I was a quiet kid, you guys didn't respect it. So now I remember I was at the All-Star podium, and I said, every Eastern Conference coach that didn't vote for me, I'm busting they ass. I can't wait till this weekend is over so I can bust they ass. And then that's when I call myself the East Coast Assassin. I'm going to burn these motherfuckers.
There we go. Right. And I guess during the offseason, you actually said that you'll take a pay cut so the Wizards would have more money because you wanted to win a championship.
Yeah, that was in 2000. That was probably like
2006.
2008.
It was the offseason after 2006.
No, my yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it was no. So what happened is after that year, that was my second year. That was my second All-Star. Yeah, so it was after my second All-Star.
Yes, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I came back. Didn't make the All-Star initially. Then I ended up making second team All NBA.
Right.
Yeah, that was after that. Like, yeah. So that one is 2000. I think I did that in 2009, 10.